I wanted to become famous on campus by tomorrow morning, I wouldn't do it by proposing a 50-page plan for better amenities. No one would read that. I do it by filming a 15-second video of me screaming at the wall. We need to talk about why our apps are obsessed with viral fury. We're living in a world where nuance is boring and outrage is pure dopamine. MIT proved it. Lies and anger spread 6 times faster than facts because drama dwells. But while we're busy chasing the high of a 15-second takedown video, we're losing our grip on reality. We think we're the ones using the apps, but the apps are playing with our emotions like a fiddle to keep us hooked. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining me today. I'm Sachita, and in a world where everyone has a microphone, I want to ask a simple and uncomfortable question. Who decides which voices actually matter? Who decides who gets heard? If a tweet drops in a digital forest and the algorithm doesn't promote it or let it flourish, does it even exist? That's the illusion of being heard in our hyper-connected world. We think technology has democratized voices. Anyone with a smartphone can broadcast. But here's the catch. Algorithms aren't a buffet of consumable, high-quality content. Rather, they are a Michelin star gourmet meal of outrage news, trends, etc. And unlike a buffet where you can choose what you want, here a Michelin star chef decides what you will consume for you. Society has always had gatekeepers, editors, publishers, producers, but technology promised us liberation. Twitter, or as we now call it X, says freedom of speech, not reach. We didn't remove these gatekeepers, we've just replaced them with something far more powerful, and today they're written with billions of lines of code meticulously prioritizing virality. Algorithms just move you from a podium, like the one I'm standing on to address you all, and into a soundproof room. They prioritize outrage over nuance, virality over value, and noise over nicety. The algorithm doesn't care if your idea is grounded in truth. It only cares if it's stimulating, attention seeking, and chock full of drama. For a startup or a marginalized creator, this isn't just a social media problem, this is an existential threat. Visibility equals survival. If you are a founder building something that solves a complex, quiet problem, the algorithm looks at you and shrugs. It doesn't see value, it sees low engagement. But if your competitor starts a digital fistfight, they get reach. This creates a world where we assume if a voice doesn't trend, it must be irrelevant. We are training our brains to believe that popularity is the same thing as truth. This is the real problem. When algorithms decide what we hear, it also shapes what we believe matters. If a voice doesn't trend, we assume it's irrelevant. This creates a designed silence. It affects marginalized communities who can't voice themselves up because their complex experiences do not fit into a 15-second reel. When the algorithm suppresses complexity, it suppresses humanity. Technology isn't neutral, but it can be changed. And as future innovators, entrepreneurs, and engineers, this is personal. I used to think code was objective, but at the end of the day, code is just human bias written in logic. When we design systems that only amplify what is profitable, we're not reflecting society, we're reinforcing its flaws. We stand at crossroads. Because we're not just users of technology, we are the future builders of it. The systems we design today will solve the problems of tomorrow and in turn decide which voices are finally heard. The question for us isn't can everyone speak? The internet took care of that. Now it's about who gets heard. Here is the plot twist. The giant black box of big tech is finally getting a legal summons. Let's talk Europe's Digital Services Act, or DSA. Europe's sassy new rulebook for online platforms, fully in force since 2024. This is the internet's overdue detention slip. Algorithms, explain yourselves. No more black box sorcery where platforms play God with your feed. The DSA demands they spill the beans on recommendation systems, how they pick winners and bury losers, giving us a nuance mode button. It's telling the big players that if they keep feeding us rage bait because it's profitable, they will have bigger bills to pay. For the big players, very large online platforms like TikTok, Instagram's parent Meta, and X, with over 45 million monthly users, it's like independent auditors walking around. Hey, how are you stopping fake news floods, keeping creepy reels away from kids? The DSA turns the virality game upside down, zaps the illegal stuff fast, slaps honest labels on ads, bye-bye to those sneaky sponsored mind games, and hands over the data so researchers can spot the biases. Tricky dark patterns that nudge you into endless scrolling, kick to the curb. But here's the deeper, let's think about this over coffee angle. The DSA isn't just slapping wrists, it's holding up a mirror to us all. Algorithms aren't some unstoppable force, they're just choices we humans baked in. And as future coders and builders, imagine flipping the script, writing apps that boost the quiet, wise voices right alongside the loud, angry rants, not just the rage that pays the bills. The DSA owns up. Technology isn't neutral, it's us, flaws and all, but we can and should take the wheel. It's kicking off similar rules in places like the US and India. Not a magic fix, but proof we can rewrite the menu instead of force feeding the chaos. So, what does this mean for us today? The first is to demand transparency. Support laws like Europe's Digital Services Act, which forces platforms to explain algorithmic decisions. The second is to amplify intentionally. Don't just be a user, be a curator. Follow diverse voices. Share uncomfortable truths to let real conversations spark. The third is to build offline. Tech illusions fade in rooms like this. TEDx proves that you don't need likes, just presence. Unbounding voices doesn't mean shouting louder. It means designing technology that listens fairly, questioning what we see and why we see it, and choosing depth over dopamine. Friends, the question isn't who decides, it's will we let them? Stop chasing the illusion. Raise voices that matter. Yours, mine, the quiet ones algorithms ignore. Because in a world drowning in noise, true hearing starts with listening more actively. Thank you.